The year is 1812. One of the most powerful armies in world history is slowly disappearing across the snow-covered lands of Russia. A march that began with 500,000 soldiers quickly turned into a nightmare. Hunger, cold, and an unseen enemy. But what was that unseen enemy? Was it really only the frozen ground that killed them? Or was there a microscopic killer hiding in history for 2 centuries? Today, DNA science is uncovering this mystery 200 years later. Who or what delivered the final blow to Napoleon's Grande Armée? June 1812. Napoleon Bonaparte leads the largest land army the world has ever seen, marching east into Russia. 600,000 soldiers, 1,200 cannons, thousands of horses and wagons. Known as the Grande Armée, the Great Army. Some joined for the glory of conquest, others for the hope of survival. None could have imagined that in just a few months, their journey would become one of history's greatest disasters.
When Napoleon's army reached Moscow, the city was burning. The Russians had scorched everything behind them. No food, no shelter, and winter mercilessly arriving. But the cold was not their only enemy. Something was happening in the camps. Soldiers grew weak, shaking with high fevers, some dying within days. One soldier wrote in his journal, "Every morning we wake to hundreds of corpses. Death comes through the camp from night until morning." Was it a curse or a disease that medicine had not yet named? Over 200 years later, during a construction project near Vilnius, Lithuania, a shovel struck something hard. Bones emerged, then hundreds more. Archaeologists quickly realized this was a mass grave of Napoleon's retreating army. Thousands had died from cold, disease, or starvation. But modern science had a new weapon: DNA analysis. Scientists extracted DNA from the teeth of 13 soldiers from the grave. Fragments preserved inside bones for centuries, silent witnesses of history. After months of analysis, the results came. 4 soldiers carried Salmonella enterica paratyphi C, the cause of deadly paratyphoid fever. 2 soldiers carried Borrelia recurrentis, the relapsing fever transmitted by lice. This revelation shook the dusty pages of history. For 2 centuries, everyone said typhus killed Napoleon's army. But the DNA told a different story. No, this was a far more complex tale. Historians long believed typhus was the killer, but laboratory DNA showed no traces of typhus bacteria. Paratyphoid and relapsing fever, combined with hunger and exhaustion, proved deadly. Lice, dirty clothing, contaminated water. Napoleon's massive army was unknowingly a ticking biological time bomb.
As the retreat began, temperatures dropped to -30 degrees. But most soldiers didn't die from the snow. They perished quietly by the campfire, battling disease. A French officer wrote, "One morning, 4 out of 5 men beside me were no longer breathing. It was not the cold. Death came from inside us." Perhaps this death was the silent pulse of microbes within them. This discovery didn't just lift a historical veil. Modern science was speaking to the past. A single tooth 2 centuries later could reveal the cause of death. One researcher said, "We are not archaeologists. We are detectives of time." time. So how does this change Napoleon's ambition? Perhaps it doesn't. But now we know history is shaped not only by great commanders, but also by forces invisible to the eye. Those who defeated Napoleon's army in Russia were not only the Tsar's soldiers. They were hunger, cold, fear, and bacteria. Nature always had the final word. The Vilnius grave is silent today, but in DNA labs, that silence still echoes. Their names may be unknown, but their bodies live on in science. These soldiers were heroes of one of the 19th century's most tragic campaigns. And perhaps, even in death, they left humanity a lesson. No emperor can conquer nature. Napoleon's Grande Armée did not return. Out of 600,000 soldiers, only 40,000 made it home. But now, 200 years later, their story is told again. Science may not have rewritten history, but it has taught us to listen to its heartbeat once more. From beneath the snow, a whisper is still heard. We did not freeze. We were forgotten. If you enjoyed uncovering history's hidden stories and exploring the echoes of the past with us, make sure to join the journey. Hit subscribe to Echoes of Time and turn on notifications so you never miss another story that time itself whispers.